like we were talking about the Lumia 920, 4.5 inch, HD display like Taylor mentioned, 1280 by 720. Mostly, I'm just happy that it has an HD resolution. I think this is something that's been a long time coming for Nokia, and also kind of like it's kind of like a bittersweet pill, really, because with the Lumia 920, it's the awesome flagship phone. It's got an HD display, all this great stuff. But then you go to the Lumia 820, and you're like, oh, it's still gonna be a great phone. But then its resolution is 800 by 480, and I'm just like, no, I am so sick of 800 by 480. I've been living with Windows Phone devices with 800 by 480 resolutions for what, a year and a half now. I'm tired of it. I don't want any more Windows phones with 800 by 480. And it's not that it's a bad thing. I mean, the 820 is the mid-range device. It's got the smaller display. The camera isn't quite as good. I mean, it's the mid-range device, so it's not like Nokia is letting everybody down. It's just the fact that we've been waiting for so long for HD displays that I don't want to see another 480 by 800 display on a Windows phone just because I've been looking at it for so long. It's been the MAXX for so long that I don't even want to see it anymore. But that's, again, I'm kind of ranting, and it's not a big deal. The Lumia 920 is a great phone. Wireless charging, one of the things that was brought out, that was mentioned, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think that's awesome. It's kind of one of those things that you kind of take for granted. There aren't really that many companies doing it right now. I mean, Palm did it with the I almost said the Pilot. It's not the Palm Pilot. The WebOS. What the heck was that freaking phone called? It's the Pixie and the Pre. Yeah. So Palm did it with those phones, but you don't really hear about anyone else doing that. But it seems like such a great thing, but I don't know, maybe the technology isn't quite there, so maybe it doesn't really work as well as it should. But wireless charging, like Taylor mentioned, dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor, 8.7 megapixel PureView camera, Windows Phone 8. It's an awesome phone, and I like it. And I think it's exactly what Windows Phone needs to be right now. I think it's exactly what the Lumia flagship phone needs to be right now. I think it's exactly what Microsoft and Windows Phone needs right now. And kind of, it's, a lot of people have been, I've read a lot of comments of people who were upset about the release date. Sometime in November, I believe, is the release date, which a lot of people, later in 2012, a lot of people were upset by that, and they were just like, what the heck, how are you going to announce the device in September and then not release it until November? And it's just like, first of all, I mean, we've seen worse, okay? The wireless industry has come a long way whenever we can now get upset about devices not being released for 2 months. I mean, remember other phones, and not to point out an Android phone, but the DROID, the Bionic. Remember that phone took like a year to come out, and that's the way it used to be. Like, you would hear about a phone, they would announce it, and same with other products, even game consoles. They would announce it, and then like a year later, it's finally released. So 2 months, not really that long of a time. But also, I mean, think about it. Windows Phone 8 isn't available yet. It hasn't even been released to developers, much less the general public. And it's not going to be available until sometime in October, sometime in late October. So a November release it makes sense. I mean, when you think about it that way, and I think it's totally fine. The gloss kind of bothers me. It was kind of one of those, I don't want to say nobody, but a lot of people don't like plastic phones, which is understandable. I'm kind of the type of person, I don't really care, as long as it's not cheaply built. Obviously, it's made out of plastic, but as long as it doesn't feel like a piece of crap, or, as long as the phone itself is good, then I'm okay with plastic. But, a lot of people feel very, very strongly about that. So the Lumia 800, the Lumia 900, they were made out of, polycarbonate, which was a really fancy way of saying it's plastic. The Lumia 800, the Lumia 900 were made out of plastic, but it was just this kind of like fancy, nice plastic. And I'm going to turn my phone off. Eventually, I'm going to figure this out to actually turn my phone off. Anyway, but it was like kind of this fancy, nice looking plastic because it had the matte finish, and so it wasn't glossy, so it kind of looked like this really nice other material that we haven't seen before, when in reality it was the same plastic we've always been seeing. But it was one of those things. It was a way for Nokia to have a device that wasn't made out of aluminum, but still have it look nice. And the Lumia 900, Lumia 800 looked very nice. I mean, there were some people who bought it, you know, a lot of journalists and tech writers who bought the phone just because it looked so nice. Windows Phone wasn't exceptionally great when it first came out, but it was good enough to where if it's on a phone that looks that great, you're going to buy it. You're going to buy that phone. So that's one of those advantages that Nokia had. And now with the Lumia 800 or the Lumia 920 and 820, still polycarbonate. I mean, it's the same material. It's not like they've changed anything with the material. It's just that now it's glossy, and it's not. I mean, I'm making a big deal out of nothing. It's really not a big deal, but at the same time, it's like, ugh, I really liked the non-glossy finish. That was one of the big things that made it so nice. So, disappointing, and you know, we'll have to. Also, a lot of people are disappointed by the camera, and this has been a big deal. This has been a lot of drama surrounding this. So, the Lumia 920 has an 8.7 megapixel PureView camera. First of all, a lot of people were upset that Nokia even used the term PureView for the camera, because they reasoned, you know, the PureView camera on the 808 PureView phone, that was a 41 megapixel camera. So to use the term PureView on an 8 megapixel camera, it was just like, no way, you can't do that. But, you know, Nokia says, well, it doesn't have anything to do with a megapixel count. It's really just a name for the technology. It's a name for, you know, the devotion to great pictures and all the marketing crap they say. But, you know, basically it's a term for, you know, the work that they put into the quality of the camera, basically. But a lot of people were upset they even use that term. But anyway, so it's got a lot of great technology within the camera. It can capture 5 to 10 times the amount of light of other phones, which means that it can create brighter and clearer pictures without relying on flash. So like in low light settings, you don't have to use a flash, and it still creates an awesome picture. And we're going to talk about that a little bit with samples. It also has floating lens technology that allows the phone to capture video very smoothly. So if you're holding it and say you're walking or you're driving in a car or something, and it's kind of, the phone is shaking around, the floating lens allows it to kind of stabilize itself within the air, because it's suspended within the air, and create a stable shot, or, you know, a stable video, which is awesome. And the technology is awesome. The problem came whenever they started demonstrating and showing off the technology, and they got a little ahead of themselves. So they released this video of basically, you know, showing how awesome this optical image stabilization technology is. It's a girl on a bike, and her boyfriend is, you know, taking video of her, and it shows without OIS, optical image stabilization, it's all shaky, and with OIS on, it's very smooth. Well, the problem was that wasn't actually shot with the Lumia 920. People found out. The Verge came down on them and showed the proof. And so then everyone jumped on Nokia, and it was kind of like, okay, that was dumb. That was really dumb to do that. And it was kind of a big deal. I thought it was really kind of, I don't know, bold, or just good. It was just good on Nokia's part. They ended up contacting The Verge, since The Verge was the first site to really show this. They contacted The Verge, and they said, hey, you know, we're sorry we did that. You're right, we weren't really using the Lumia 920, but just because that was fake doesn't mean the Lumia 920's camera is a piece of crap, and we want to prove it to you. So they took The Verge and a couple of other sites out to Central Park in the middle of night when it was dark, and they had them take pictures with the Lumia 920 and compare, and take the same picture with the Galaxy S3, the iPhone 4S, the HTC One X, all these great cameras, and compare it. And, you know, that ad might have been fake, but this test is totally real. You can see one example here of the composite. It's dark. It's dark outside. Galaxy S3, iPhone 4S, HTC One X, they're all dark. You can't really see too much. And you can see on the right there, the Lumia 920, obviously you can't see all of the picture, but you gotta get an idea of how good it looks. And here's a full picture of the Lumia 920. Pitch black, no lights. They had the video on The Verge. You can watch it, and you can see. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Here's the same picture with the Galaxy S3. Again, very dark. Now, the Galaxy S3 and the HTC One X, they have a night mode. And so this is what it looks like, that same picture taken with the Galaxy S3 night mode. And it looks better. It's still not great. Kind of a little oversaturated and a little bit blurry, but it looks a little better. But even then, still comparing it to the Lumia 920, it still doesn't look as good. So, you know, it was kind of like, okay, they kind of sort of redeemed themselves. I mean, at least in my opinion. When I first saw the video, I was like, great, now the camera's going to suck, just like it sucked on the Lumia 800 and it sucked on the Lumia 900. Now it's going to suck on the Lumia 920. But now, seeing these pictures, I was like, oh, okay, so it's not actually that bad. I mean, yeah, they faked the video and they faked the pictures that they released originally, but these are real and they actually look pretty good. So kind of redeemed themselves, and you know, again, we'll have to wait and see. I think the phone they used was still a prototype, so there could have been some software things that, I don't know, weren't finished or something. They still couldn't show off the optical image stabilization technology because that also wasn't complete. The software wasn't complete for the prototype they were using. So a lot of it, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. But a lot of people are impressed after seeing that, seeing those pictures, also after being able to get hands-on at Nokia Worlds with the phone, and they themselves are allowed to take the picture. A lot of people are impressed and saying that it's going to be one of the best cameras. So that's good, and I think it's, again, Nokia really had to do that. I mean, considering how bad the camera was on the previous Lumias, definitely much better. The Lumia 800 or the Lumia 920 is rumored to be coming to AT&T with LTE. The Lumia 820 will possibly come to AT&T, and it will probably be the Nokia. It will probably be the one that goes to T-Mobile. We haven't heard anything really, I don't think, to suggest that, but just going based off of past history, just so you know, if you're on T-Mobile, you'd probably, I mean, I would be willing to say I'm 90% sure that the Lumia 920 will not be on T-Mobile. You're probably going to get the Lumia 820. I wish we could talk more about this, but we don't even have time because we have so much else to talk about. But all in all, I think Nokia did a good job. I think the phones, like I said, everything they need to be. The dual-core Snapdragon S4 processor. The biggest deal was just the processor and the display and the camera. That's what everyone pays attention to. There's some other cool features. You got the wireless charging. You have a large battery, 2,000 milliamp hour battery. You have some nice features. The Lumia 820 actually has a micro SD card slot, which is pretty cool. It's got some nice features, but really anyone cares about is the display, the processor, and the camera. And I think Nokia hit everything, every nail on the head with the Lumia 920. And then the Lumia 820, you know, it's disappointing, at least the way I see it. I'm just tired of WVGA displays. I've been looking at one forever on a Windows phone, and I'm tired of it. I don't want to see it anymore. No, I'm done. I'm totally done. And Verizon will offer multiple Windows Phone devices in Q4, just in case you're wondering. Now, T-Mobile, you're disappointed about not getting the Lumia 920, but you may be getting the HTC Accord /8X. That is rumored to be announced in October, and that is going to be another high-end phone. 4.3-inch HD display, Super LCD 2, 8-megapixel camera, NFC dual-core processor, Beats audio, 16 gigs of internal memory. So you can kind of get the idea. Basically, the Lumia 920 just HTC, and that is rumored to be coming to T-Mobile. So we may be missing out on the Lumia 920 on T-Mobile, but at least you'll get another high-end Windows phone, and you'll be able to use that. So anyway, we have to move on because, like I said, there's just so much to talk about. Amazon. Let's move on to Amazon. Kindle Fire, multiple Kindle Fires. The Kindle Fire HD, which comes in 8.9-inch models, variants of 8.9-inch and 7-inch displays. And then the original Kindle Fire got updated. And then there's also a Kindle Fire HD, I'm not sure what the name of it is. The Fire HD LTE, 4G LTE, 8.9 LTE, I don't know. All these, I don't know what the full name of it is, but it's the Kindle Fire HD with an 8.9-inch display and LTE connectivity. And they also announced another e-reader. They're like their e-ink technology, except it's actually supposed to be pretty awesome, but we're not going to talk about that too much because we're going to talk about the tablets. So first of all, the original Kindle Fire got updated, a faster processor, double the RAM, better battery life, and it's still only $159, which is pretty great. Now, I mean, it's not as impressive as the other ones that we're going to talk about, but, you know, it's still pretty impressive. But the big ones, the ones that everyone cares about, the Kindle Fire HD is called HD because it has an HD display, which makes sense. 8.9-inch. The 8.9-inch model has a resolution of 1920 by 1200, and then the 7-inch model has a 1200 by 720 display. So, pretty awesome. And actually, they talked a lot about the display itself. It's supposed to be extremely clear, and they use a lot of marketing jargon, but basically the point is that it's an awesome display. 8.8 millimeters thick, TI-OMAP 4470 processor, which some people are saying is going to be faster, or is faster than the quad-core Tegra 3, which, I don't know, TI doesn't, Texas Instruments, they don't have the best history. You remember when we had devices like, a lot of the Motorola, the DROID devices, they use a TI processor. I think the Galaxy S, some of the Galaxy S phones, the Galaxy S2, they used a TI-OMAP processor, and it was always like, the one that nobody wanted because it was always slower. No one really wanted the TI processor. They always wanted the NVIDIA processor or the Qualcomm processor. So we'll have to see. I mean, they don't have the best history, but, people are saying it's pretty impressive. So, in all the hands-on videos, everyone says it's extremely smooth and fast, and, we'll have to see once they actually get out to the general public. A lot of Wi-Fi improvements that Amazon has made, dual-band Wi-Fi, which is supposed to improve basically the connection and how things work together, and it'll always be smooth, you'll never lose a connection. HD front-facing camera. The operating system, it is based on Android 4.0. Don't expect to be buying an Android 4.0 tablet. Obviously, you can probably, root and mod and hack and do all kinds of crap to it, but out of the box, it's Android 4.0, but it's Amazon's version, and it's very, very Amazon. It's not really Android at all, really. And there will be an LTE model for $499, and a lot of cool features. And honestly, I think this is great. I don't think there's any surprise here. $299 for the 8.9-inch model, $199 for the 7-inch model. Basically, what we were expecting. And it's great. It's not one of those tablets that everybody's gonna want. It's just not. It's a tablet that a lot of people are going to want, and for Amazon, that's all that matters. It's people like us. We follow technology. We're the geeks or whatever. We're the ones that want the Transformer Prime or the Galaxy Tab 10.1 or the iPad. We're the ones that will pay $400, $500, $600 for a tablet. And we want the best. We want the quad-core processor. We want the large display and all the other stuff that comes with it. We want to be able to do so much with it. So, for people like us, the Kindle Fire HD, definitely appealing. One, because the price tag is so cheap, and it has an HD display. I mean, there's some great things about it that make it appealing, but, not everyone is going to want it. But you think about the general public, you think about the average consumer, to use that term, the average consumer will want the Kindle Fire HD. I think it's, and I can tell you from personal experience of, having the original Kindle Fire, it is extremely simple. You don't feel like you're using an Android tablet, in a good way. I mean, I guess some people might take that in a bad way, but, for some people, the icons and the widgets and the resizing and the customization and the settings and the this and the that and the pages and the home screens and the notifications. I mean, it's just so much. And for what tablets are supposed to be, which is an entertainment device, at least in my opinion, I mean, there are some ways you can make it a productivity device, but I mean, for a lot of people, an entertainment device. For just being an entertainment device, they are extremely friggin' complicated to some people. And, it's like I was talking to my mother-in-law this morning, actually, and she asked me, what do you think of the Kindle Fire HD? And first of all, I was surprised that she even knew about it because she is not that person at all. But she knew about it already. And anyway, and I said, yeah, it's good. There's some great things about it. There's going to be ads on the lock screen, which I think is ridiculous and absolutely stupid and just dumb. But I was like, yeah, it's good. For the price and considering what you get, I mean, I would go with another tablet like the Nexus 7 because, you got this, it's got a full OS, you can do this and this, it's got like so much more. And I was, talking about it, and she said, all I really want to do is watch movies while I'm working out. And I was like, well, then the Kindle Fire HD is probably the best option. And it's like sometimes we lose track of that. People, all they want to do on their tablet is watch movies, watch videos, play games, browse the internet. And with the Kindle Fire HD, you can do that. And sure, it's only $200 or $300, and you don't get all this other crap, but when you don't even want to use all that other stuff, it doesn't matter. Like, if I don't want to customize my tablet, then it doesn't matter to me that I can't customize my tablet. You see what I'm saying? So, I think it's going to be great for a lot of people. And then in Amazon is like, they basically break even on these tablets. I mean, they may even lose some money, depending on, which model and how they sell everything. They may even lose money, but they make money off of their services, which is one of the things that they talked about in the keynote, actually. They said, Jim Bezos got up there, and he said people don't want gadgets, they want services. And in some way I was like, I beg to differ. I mean, I see a lot of gadgets out there, but really he has a point. I mean, think about it. What's the main reason why people choose the iPhone or the iPad? It's because of the ecosystem. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said, I would switch to Android or something, but I've been with Apple for so long that everything I own is in Apple. I've got, my iTunes Music, I've got all of my apps on my phone. Everything is integrated into the Apple ecosystem. It's a service. That's why people stick with it. And Android is building the same thing with now the Google Play offering, movies and all that stuff. It's building services. It's not really so much about the gadgets to the average consumer. And so that with Amazon, the Kindle Fire HD, it's like perfect. You've got Amazon Prime if you want to. If not, you can just, get movies from Netflix. You can download the Netflix app from the App Store. You've got apps, you've got games, you've got web browsing, you have email, it's now new and improved, you have Kindle books. I mean, the services on the tablet are really what make it great, and really is where Amazon makes its money, to be honest. So I think it's great, and it doesn't bother me at all that it's not like the most technologically advanced tablet out there, because, it's like my mother-in-law was just talking about, all she wants to do is watch videos while she works out. And if she can get that on a nice tablet that can also play games and do other things for $200, great, sure. Would she like to have an iPad that can do all this other stuff? Yeah, she asked me about that last week. But now that this is out, she's like, oh, well, I'll just get this. I mean, it's cheaper, it's simpler, and it does everything she wants. And so why not get it? I think it's great. Moving on to Apple. Speaking of Apple. Apple, in order to steal all of the thunder, basically, Apple sent out invitations for a September 12th event. This was not entirely surprising. We had been hearing about this for a while, that the new iPhone would be announced on September 12th. But they sent out the invitations, and I have the picture so I can show you. Apple invitation, it's almost here, 12, signifying the date of the event, and you can see the shadow of the 12 forms a 5. And before we go any further, I just want to say, boo, yeah, okay? Booyah. Because let me think back a couple months ago when everyone was talking about what the new iPhone would be called. And did I not say that it would be called iPhone 5? Did I not say that? And everyone said, no, it's the 6th iPhone. It's going to be called iPhone 6. And I was like, no, because we just came from the iPhone 4S, but 4, you're not going to go from 4 to 6. That wouldn't make any sense. Apple wouldn't do that. And I maintained that it will be called the iPhone 5. And nobody believed me. Actually, I mean, there were some people who agreed with me. I'm not the only one who said that. But a lot of people told me that I was wrong and I was crazy. And I was like, no, it's going to be called iPhone 5. And I also contested that it would not just be called iPhone, the new iPhone, because they were like, well, the new iPad, that was only called the new iPad and not iPad 3. And I was like, yes, but you have to think about the iPad is becoming like, you know, Apple's new MacBook Air. It's like the MacBook Air. You know, I mean, it's an extension of their computer ecosystem almost. I mean, it's almost becoming that way. And so that's why they follow the naming scheme of like, you know, the MacBook, how it's not like the MacBook 12, 13, 14, it's just MacBook or MacBook Pro. Same thing with, you know, iMacs. And so the iPad is just now going to be iPad. But the iPhone is still a phone. It does not follow their computer ecosystem, any of that stuff. It's still going to have the names. At least that's what I think. You know, September 12th could get here, and the 5 could represent like, I don't know, the display size or something stupid like that. I mean, I could still be totally wrong, but I mean, we're pretty sure that it's not going to be called the iPhone 5, and I feel so vindicated. I mean, it's a wonderful feeling. It was great, and so I just wanted to shove that in all of you guys' face, and then, you know, run away laughing like we did in kindergarten. But still, now we know that it's probably going to be called the iPhone 5, which is not surprising, at least to me, since I had already predicted that, and I know everything. As far as the specs, as far as what the phone will be like, we are still not entirely sure, but larger display, LTE, NFC, non-NFC, you know, who knows. Actually, The Verge got hands-on with what is supposedly a dummy unit of the iPhone 5. And if you guys haven't seen this, have you seen this, first of all, guys, in Ustream? Because I think this is pretty new. So let me know if you've seen this. Otherwise, you know, it's pretty exciting. At IFA, The Verge happened to, I don't know, one of the case makers, they had the dummy unit of the iPhone 5, which, I mean, I don't know, I thought they were trying to keep this stuff secret, but they just had it. But so it basically looked like all of the pictures that we've seen. We actually saw another picture recently, a leaked picture of the iPhone, and this is basically what the dummy unit that The Verge got their hands on. This is basically what it looks like too. And again, this is what we've been seeing for a little while. You can see it's taller, it's thinner, but basically has the same design as the iPhone 4S, just on the back, instead of all glass, you've got the aluminum plate basically in the middle of it. I'm not too sure if I like it. When I first saw the video, excuse me, when I first saw the video, it was kind of like, at first I was like, ugh, my initial reaction was, ooh, I really don't like that, but after just a couple of seconds, I was like, well, I don't know, it's not that bad. And then I kind of was like, well, I kind of like that. But then a couple of seconds later, you know, as the video kept going, I was like, no, I don't think I like that. So I don't know. I kind of went back and forth on it. It's different. I mean, to me, the design looks unfinished, for lack of a better word. You know, with the black strip and the black strip. The black strip and then the black strip and then the metal plate in the middle. To me, it seems like there should be some kind of border around it. I don't know, which I think having a border would also look dumb, but it looks too segregated, like three different parts, you know, and it just looks unfinished to me. And so, I don't know if I really like it, but, you know, there's nothing I can do about it. If that's the new iPhone, then it's the new iPhone. Anyway, so, watch that video if you haven't already. Taylor just brought out a good point. He just sent me a message. I wanted to talk about this. So here's the thing. Everyone has been arguing over what the new iPhone will be called. Some people said it would just be called the new iPhone. Some people said it would be called the iPhone 6. The smart ones of us said it would be called the iPhone 5. I'm just kidding. But, really, we said it would be called the iPhone 5. But a lot of people thought it would be called the iPhone 6. I don't know why, but they did. But now it's like, oh, it's going to be called the iPhone 5. And so I think it was kind of surprising to some people that it was actually going to be called the iPhone 5, since so many people thought it would be called the iPhone 6 or the new iPhone. And so we thought we knew, oh, this is what it's going to be called. And now to think, oh, we didn't even know what the name was. What else do we not know? What else is going to be a complete surprise? To me, you could go either way. The way I see it, first of all, I was expecting iPhone 5 all along, so I'm not really that surprised. Second of all, I'm not even going to get into the surprises that we could see, because, we do that every year. Every year we talk about, oh, you know what? It's going to have a completely new design, a larger display, LTE, quad-core processor, and it can make toast for you. I mean, every year it's some amazing, outlandish, out-of-this-world thing, and we talk about it, and we hype it up, and we write articles, and we do this, we do that, but somewhere buried in there, somewhere buried in those news articles is some little line about, but we've heard rumors that it could also just be this and this. But we never focus on that. We just focus on the outlandish stuff. And then the event happens, and it's actually just the simple this and this that we thought it would be, that we never wanted to admit, and so everyone is disappointed. And every year we do that, and every year we're disappointed. And you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay, so yes, Apple could completely surprise us. Apple could, debut it with a completely new hardware design with... Actually, at this point, I don't even know what would be surprising other than a hardware design. That's all I can really think of. Or they could introduce, or something like the iPad mini, they could throw something in like that in there. That could happen. It's probably not. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's probably not. So don't get your hopes up, okay? And maybe I'm doing this to myself subconsciously, so that when Apple does do it, I'll actually be surprised, and so I won't be as disappointed. Or when Apple doesn't do it, I won't be as disappointed. Maybe this is just for me. But honestly, I really do feel like all we're going to see is the new iPhone, the iPhone 5. It's probably going to have this design that we've been seeing for a while. It'll have a larger display. I think it will still have just a dual-core processor, slightly better camera. Apple will hype everything up to make it seem like the camera can freaking, outdo the Hubble telescope. But, it's the bottom line is that it's going to be a slightly better camera. Slightly redesigned, but not really. And then, LTE and things like that. That's what I'm expecting. It's possible that, Tim Cook said they're doubling down on security. And so maybe all of these leaks aren't real. Maybe all these pictures we've been seeing aren't real. Maybe there is a completely new hardware design. That's a possibility. But, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. How long have we been doing this? How long have we been following iPhone rumors? And every year we come up with these crazy, outlandish ideas, and they never happen. When are we ever going to learn our lesson, okay? It's not going to happen. We might see the iPad mini. We might. I mean, those rumors have been gaining momentum, so maybe we'll see that. I mean, I'm kind of thinking that we will, but really, it's just going to be an iPhone with a kind of slightly better design, I think, and, larger display, LTE. So Apple is going to double down on security and let their entire design leak. I know. The leaks, that's the only thing that doesn't make sense. I know, and I keep telling myself that, Apple doubling down on security, why would there be so many leaks if they were being so careful? I don't know, but I mean, think about it. It's not possible to keep something a complete secret. It's just not. If you're building a phone and you have to test prototypes and you have to have cases made, or you have to have the carriers testing it. Or you have to test these prototypes. You have tons of people working on the project. What are the odds that nobody leaks it? That nobody anywhere? I mean, it's impossible. I mean, come on. This is Apple we're talking about, but they're still just humans. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and anoint Apple as some kind of otherworldly type, spirit, God, kingdom, government. I mean, company. It's just a company, okay? It's just humans running the company, and all they're doing is building a phone, okay? And there are a lot of people working on the phone. It's bound to slip out somewhere. I mean, that's all I'm saying, okay? I mean, you can go on and on and on about security and Apple and the mystique, but the fact is, it's just a company, okay? And stuff leaks. I mean, stuff just gets out. That's all I have to say about that. But hey, look, this is what I'm saying, but it's only because, maybe it's just because I'm bitter. I'm bitter over being disappointed every single year. So I'm saying, no, we're not going to see anything new. But really, I'm not expecting anything, which is a good thing. Because if I'm not expecting anything, when there isn't anything surprising, I'll be fine. When there is something surprising, I'll be totally surprised and ecstatic, and it'll be great. So anyway, that's that. And there were some other Motorola devices announced, but honestly, I don't even care about those phones. The DROID RAZR HD, the DROID RAZR MAXX HD, the DROID RAZR M. Like, what is that? Is this a new RAZR? Is it an incremental upgrade? Is it a huge upgrade? Are we supposed to care about this? Or was this just so people don't forget that you exist? I mean, I don't give a crap about those phones, okay? Do something awesome, do something new. Don't do a RAZR MAXX HD LTE freaking stop. Just make a new phone, okay? Anyway, that's my take on the new Motorola's. And that's all the time we have for news. And gosh, I wanted to say so much more. I wanted to talk about those Lumias a whole lot longer, but I didn't get a chance to. But that's okay. You guys can ask me about it, and maybe we can do it then. Let's see. Let's move on to the open Q&A, and you can ask me anything you want, and I will answer it. I will be like Oz, like the all-knowing Oz, except a girl. Yeah. Do you have a ceiling fan on? I do. Can you see the reflection in the light? Or can you just see stuff moving around? Yeah, I have a ceiling fan on. They handed me a RAZR. Oh, okay, this is Taylor. And I threw it in my bag and said, yeah, basically. That's like I said, I don't care about the RAZR and the RAZR MAXX and the RAZR MAXX M HD, whatever the crap. I don't care. Yes, in the mic. You can see the reflection of the ceiling fan in the mic. Oh, yeah, you can. Whoa. Good eye. Good eye. I didn't even get to show you my pictures of the Kindle Fire HD or of the Lumia 920. And I love showing you guys pictures. Or of the HTC Accord. Ugh. Okay. Did you watch the VMAs? No. Did you recommend me to buy the Galaxy Nexus? No. Just wait for the new Nexus coming probably in December. Apple should make live icons. Sure. Sydney, what don't you like about the 920? What don't I like? Besides the glossy finish, really there's not a lot to not like. Really there's not. I mean, if you don't like Windows Phone, obviously you're not going to like the 920, but other than that, there's not really anything to not like. What do you think about the Ative S, or whatever it's called, versus the Lumia 920? I haven't really had a chance to do a lot of... I would have to compare them. I just haven't had a chance to make the show 2 hours. For this one, I would like to, but Rihanna looks like you with your new haircut. I don't really know if you could... probably the other way around. Maybe I have Rihanna's haircut. It's like cut it a little bit shorter this time. And I didn't realize how short it was until I left the salon, or the salon, but It's okay. You know, I like all the different looks when it's like shorter and then when it gets kind of longer and it's a little more like rock edgy. I like that one too. So Rihanna can't sing as well as Sydney. I don't know if you've ever heard me sing. You haven't, obviously, or else you wouldn't be saying that. Thanks for having me. You're welcome. Yeah, Taylor, man, I really wish that worked out. We're gonna have to do that again sometime. I love having guests, and I really wanted to have you on to talk about those phones, but we'll make it work. We'll do it sometime. I'm sure others have said it, but we're glad you're feeling better. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed Phone Dog Live last week, and I missed the Dog Pound. I lost my voice. I got a cold last Thursday or Wednesday. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I got sick, and it was just like the cold wasn't bad. Like obviously I had a headache and all that stuff, but what was worse was just that I lost my voice, and it was so annoying. It's like you try to talk and it doesn't come out the way that it's supposed to. It is very annoying. So yeah, I'm sorry I missed it, but I'm glad I'm back. Do you think the 920 is a little thick? I haven't held it in my hand, but just from the pictures, it didn't seem thick. We heard you rap on the Dog Pound. Well, first of all, that was rapping. Second of all, I used auto-tune, just so you know. Third of all, I had a cold. Actually, speaking of colds, I had a cold whenever I did that show, so that also affected my voice. But mostly the auto-tune was... Sydney, is your twin a hipster? No, at least not that I know of. um... What are your feelings about the ads in the Kindle Fire HD? I hate it, and if I cannot opt out, I will not buy it, and I will tell everyone to not buy it. I mentioned earlier my mother-in-law, and if she wants to get it, like, more power to her, but no, I hate it, it's dumb, I will not buy it, and I'll tell everyone to not buy it. It's ridiculous. Hey Sid, what's your take of the future of Windows Phone with the new iPhone 5 and Jelly Bean? I think it's good. I mean, I think it can compete. I think the new iPhone 5 will be great. I think iOS is a great operating system. Android's a great operating system. Jelly Bean is just so much better. It's added a lot of things. I think it's awesome. But I think Windows Phone 8 can stand up there with them. And, yeah, I think we're going to have three OSs competing for a long time. And maybe BlackBerry 10 can fit in there, too. Do you like baseball at all? Going to games, I think is awesome. I love going to baseball games. I like watching it. I mean, I enjoy watching baseball, but it's not my favorite sport. I think they're just Amazon ads, though. Yeah, I mean, they're just Amazon ads, but they're still ads, you know. Is there a Windows Phone fantasy football app? There's a lot of them for Yahoo fantasy football, but I use ESPN fantasy football, and there isn't one for that. There's one, I think Nokia has one. So if you have a Lumia, you can get an ESPN fantasy football app, but it's not for all Windows phones. It's really annoying because, I have a fantasy football team, and I want to be able to track that stuff on my phone, and I can't, so it's kind of annoying. Can you make a video office tour? My office is a little messy right now because my sister is moving, and so I have a lot of boxes in here that I'm holding until she comes pick them up. So it's not really clean. Could you extend the show for a little while more? Maybe a couple minutes. Sure. Is your twin interested in phones as well? Sorta. Yeah, we're a lot alike, but, she's not really as into phones as I am. She's kind of more like, fashion and stuff. I waited for hours to talk about the new RAZR lines and info on them that I may not, but you want when it broke my heart. Oh, well, okay, the RAZR and the RAZR MAXX, they're basically that. Just, I don't know, larger battery or something. Your twin sister is moving. No, my other sister. I have 2 other sisters. Actually, I have 3 other sisters. Yeah. Do you have any brothers? I do not have any brothers. I never really wanted a brother. Well, I mean, I don't know. I never had a brother, so I never really thought of, like, missing out on anything by not having a brother, so I never really, like, thought of, oh, I really wish I had a brother. So no. Is there an Instagram for Windows Phone? I don't. If answered already, an ad came up. There is not an Instagram app. There's other, I don't know what you'd call it, brands, or not brands, I guess just other apps, right, basically, that do the same thing, but it's not Instagram. What do you usually get at Starbucks? Tall decaf latte, no foam, 3 raw sugars, and stirred. What's more important to you, killer hardware or killer software? Definitely killer software. Starbucks versus Coffee Beanery. I've never had Coffee Beanery, so I don't know. How tall are you? I think I'm about 5'3", probably. Did you get all the players you wanted for your fantasy football team? I didn't. There were a couple of players that I really wanted to get. One player that I was really excited about getting was Andy Dalton. He's, well, this is his sophomore year, I think. He's a quarterback. He's not an exceptionally great player or, great quarterback, but I guess he was kind of like my sleeper. He was my sleeper player that I was going to get, and that was going to have like a great year and come out of nowhere and all that. But obviously he was going to be my backup quarterback, but I ended up not getting it. The person who had the pick right before me got Andy Dalton. I was like, ugh. But no, my team is pretty good. Let me actually see. I can't even remember who all I have. I got Tony Romo as my quarterback, which was actually kind of funny because, like, I'm from Dallas, and so I was like, oh, now I just look like a homer, getting Tony Romo. But he was the best quarterback available when my pick came, when I wanted to get a quarterback, and so that was why I got him. Tony Romo, Chris Johnson, which was a good pick, Frank Gore, Andre Johnson. I think he was our first pick. We got him for wide receiver, Michael Crabtree. Got Jermichael Finley, Antonio Gates, Jason Witten. Again, I did not mean to get another Cowboys player, but it was just the best one. And then I got the Ravens defense and special teams. My backup quarterback is Sam Bradford. Not really the one that I wanted, but, we got him. Yeah, we have a lot of tight ends. We've got 1, 2, 3. We have 3 starting tight ends. But we've got Antonio Gates as the tight end, and then Jermichael Finley starts as a wide receiver tight end, and then Jason Witten is our flex player. So, it works because Witten, I mean, is it really a tight end league now? I mean, passing is so important. And anyway, I'm not going to talk about that because I know you guys hate that. But anyway, sorry, I won't talk about sports, okay? Don't ask me if you don't want me to talk about it. Okay. What is she saying? What's your favorite soft drink? Barks root beer. Did you watch the Cowboys and Giants game? I was only able to watch the 4th quarter, but it was good. It was really good. How do you feel about V8? The drink? I don't think I've ever had I've had V8 Splash, but that's not quite the same. What's your least favorite color? I don't know, probably something lame like brown or something. I don't know. Sydney, does your phone overheat as bad as Android phones? No, I mean, I've never had that problem. What would you like to see in the next Nexus phone? A better camera than the last one. I mean, you know, the obvious stuff. Quad-core, dual-core processor, HD display, not pin tile, you know, all the usual stuff. But I mean, I just stand out. I like to see a camera that's better than the previous Nexus. Would you like better, Snapdragon S4 or Tegra 3? The Tegra 3, it's just faster. I mean, the Snapdragon S4 processor is great, but the Tegra 3 is just faster. The bottom line. Do you have any shows or movies stored on your phone? No, I don't really do that. I mostly do streaming. But actually, just the other day, I realized I didn't even know, or I don't even remember doing this, but I had downloaded or purchased Tomb Raider on my Kindle Fire, and so I downloaded it and watched it because I was like, man, I forgot I had that. I love Tomb Raider. I'm a big Tomb Raider fan. I love the games and the movies, and I don't care what anyone says. The movies were great, okay, and I wish they would make more. Tomb Raider is just awesome. I totally wish I were Tomb Raider. I mean, if I could be anybody in the world, including fictional characters, obviously, I would be Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. I think that'd be, first of all, she's freaking rich, okay? She's got a ton of money, inherited everything, how she's got so many cool gadgets, and she's so freaking awesome. She go and, like, freaking, like, shooting, and then the gymnast. I mean, she's just, like, she's freaking awesome. I wish I could be Tomb Raider. Fantastic accent. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's... Everybody likes a British accent. Tomb Raider game for 2013 looks sweet. I know. That game looks awesome. And I like the kind of the new direction of sort of starting over. I like it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Why do people hate pin tile? Never used it. Yeah, it's just it's the way that it builds the display. It's just the architecture of the layout of the... Oh my god, the pixels. Today I cannot think of words. Anyway, it's just the layout of the pixels. Even though it's like an HD resolution, the way the pixels are laid out, it still makes it look pixelated. It's really annoying. So, what do you think of Apple products? I think they're great. Yeah. I don't personally, like, I don't have an iPhone just because I don't like iOS, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just personally don't like it. But I think it's a great phone. I have a MacBook Pro, and I love it. I would never use Windows again if I don't have to, except for Windows Phone, which I love. What was your first phone? It was some, like, Samsung flip phone from Sprint. Yeah. But anyway, it's 5:03, which means it's time to go. 920 isn't AMOLED. It's not. It's, what's the word that... It's a 1280 by 768 Pure Motion HD. So, I hear the blacks, the darks are really... They show up really well. The saturation is great. It's not AMOLED. It's, you know, some other technology, but Pure Motion HD Plus, actually. So, anyway, thanks guys for being here. I'm sorry about all the technical difficulties. I really do apologize for that. I wish that it wasn't a problem. But thanks for still watching and for hanging in there. Hopefully I will see you guys next week. Same time, same place, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Ustream. Or on YouTube, if you want to watch the recording of this. It will be posted there sometime this weekend, whenever I get to it. Don't rush me. But anyway, I guess that's it. I will see you guys later.